Happy Cinco de Mayo, it is Friday, and on top of the fact that SmackDown tonight takes place from San Juan, Puerto Rico, we also have the very first WWE pay-per-view event, or premium live event, whatever you want to call it, since January of 2005's New Year's Revolution. It's been about 18 years since Puerto Rico has had a major event take place, and this Saturday they have Backlash, which is hosted by megastar Bad Bunny, who not only is going to host, but he also has a match himself that he might main event the pay-per-view itself. He has a San Juan street fight against one of the most ruthless members of the Judgment Day in Damian Priest, his former friend, Damian Priest. So with that said, let's start going into the preview. Let's start going into the predictions of what might transpire, who might get the wins this Saturday night at Backlash. And of course, we're going to start it off with the 6-man tag team match that involves the members of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and the Usos, facing off against the current reigning, defending, and still undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, who also have the original bro Matt Riddle by their side. Now, with this said, I understand why this story has continued after WrestleMania. Specifically before the draft, before you were able to separate these stars between brands. You have to book and just give some closure to this story. So I'm hoping this 6-man tag team match does indeed give some closure, especially to the story of Zayn and Owens against the Bloodline. I think that story has been ran through completely, and the Bloodline right now has to focus on whatever issues they have amongst themselves, specifically the Usos with Reigns. Now, with that said, this 6-man tag team match, at least for me, the best way to protect all 6 men in this match is to have Solo Sikoa get the win over Matt Riddle at Backlash. Because it's something that has happened before on Raw and SmackDown, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. That way the champs, the tag champs, don't get pinned. The Usos don't get pinned. And on top of the fact that the Bloodline gets the win, that gives the Usos some bragging rights over Roman, who is definitely going to come back with some hell to pay over the fact that the Usos were not able to regain the tag team championships for the Bloodline. So I think the Bloodline storyline should just focus on that for now, and eventually they're going to present a brand new challenger for Roman Reigns' Universal Championship. That's coming later down the line. So with that said, Usos and Solo get the win on this 6-man tag team match. We also have the singles match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now here's the thing. I was not okay with this match getting booked, especially not the way it was booked. Because basically, Zelina Vega got this match. She booked herself in this match by just going to Adam Pearce's office and asking for it simply because she's of Puerto Rican descent. Now, in storyline purposes, I would have been okay if she had done that, and then Adam Pearce gave her a match. Win this match and you'll get the shot at Mommy for the SmackDown Women's Championship. That didn't happen. So at least from my point of view, that's not enough to warrant a SmackDown Women's Championship match. And on top of that, that's not enough to have Zelina Vega win the title. Not even in her home country of Puerto Rico. So I honestly just see this as another way of making Rhea Ripley look even stronger than she already is. Because if she does lose this match, which she won't, that will make her look very, very bad. So with that said, Rhea Ripley for the win. She retains her SmackDown Women's Championship in pretty easy, pretty simple fashion against Zelina Vega. I don't think there's much to discuss about the back and forth in this match. We also have the match that everybody hates, the match that everybody had question marks about. Seth frickin' Rollins versus Omos. Now, the storyline for this match itself was pretty much non-existent. This match was just pretty much just thrown together. We have Seth frickin' Rollins, who got drafted to Raw, and we have Omos, who is a free agent, apparently. Other than that, it just seems like the current Joker-like character of Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, he's fine. He's okay with fighting off against a giant like Omos in character. I feel, other than that, I don't see anything that would have brought this match together. But much like the Lesnar versus Omos match at WrestleMania took people off guard, I feel like this match could be the exact same way. It's either going to be crazy entertaining, or it's going to be a train wreck. Which I doubt, because Seth freaking Rollins is involved. So with that said, I have to give it to Seth freaking Rollins. It would be a giant question mark on WWE's booking if they have Omos keep losing. And I get it, he lost to Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate. And I get it, he's losing to Seth freaking Rollins, possibly, that Saturday night at Backlash. But he's a giant. I believe 7'4". And unless you want this giant in Omos to become the Big Show or Kane, who are threats to mid-card level superstars, but not real threats to main event world championship stars, the faces of the company, much like Braun Strowman has become currently on the WWE roster, then you have to really revolutionize the way you book Omos on WWE TV. And you don't do that by having him lose, albeit against top stars like Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. But that's all WWE fans are watching, Omos losing on the big stages. So we'll just have to wait and see. For now, I'll give it to Seth frickin' Rollins. We have ourselves a triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. The now Austin Theory defends against Bobby Lashley and against Bronson Reed. And as simple as this. This match is just, well, how can I put this lightly? This match should have been Lashley versus Bronson Reed. They have the feud. They have the rivalry going. It's big man versus big man, one-on-one. So interjecting Austin Theory with his championship into this match, title defense, doesn't really make sense. From my point of view. Because Bronson Reed never made his intentions clear for the U.S. title, I don't believe. And Lashley, I feel like he's way past going after the United States Championship at this point, especially against Austin Theory, who he has feuded with, 5-6 months ago? Lashley is now a part of SmackDown. He should be going after Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. So with that said, I feel like Austin Theory is going to be the odd man out. He's going to get beaten down by Lashley or get beaten down by Reed. Spend most of the match on the outside so we can get Lashley versus Reed one-on-one, these two big men going at it. And then he'll eventually steal the pinfall, retain his championship, and head over to SmackDown and find new challengers there. As simple as that. Austin Theory retains. We have our singles match for the Raw Women's Championship. The EST of WWE, Bianca Belair, faces off against Io Sky of Damage Control. And much like I said in my predictions for the draft, this championship match is more about the dissolution of Damage Control than it is about the Raw Women's Championship. And again, that's mostly based on creative. That's mostly based on booking by Triple H and company of the women's divisions. Because like I said, they didn't build the SmackDown Women's Championship match properly. They haven't built the Raw Women's Championship match properly. They haven't done that over the past few months. So I'm hoping after Backlash, after this draft, Triple H and company can get to booking better stories for the women in WWE. Other than that, Bianca Belair retains her Raw Women's Championship, and hopefully she moves on to Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer, 7-time Women's Champion. Give her one more run. She's got the name to take down Bianca Belair's record-breaking longest championship reign. So with that said, Bianca Belair for the win. Then we have our two matches, which could be main event, it could be semi-main event. Or for all we know, one of them could open the pay-per-view itself, and the other one can main event. But Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest in a San Juan street fight. This is a tough one to book. Because the pay-per-view takes place in Puerto Rico. Bad Bunny is wrestling. He's a big star, tremendous star all over the world, even bigger in Puerto Rico. So it would be pretty easy, it would be pretty simple to give the win to Mr. Bad Bunny. But the problem with that is it doesn't really help Damian Priest at all, because he is the Punisher of the Judgment Day. He is the biggest guy of the group, and he can't beat a star who, yes, has performed well in WWE for his lack of experience. But if he can't beat Bad Bunny, what does that say about Damian Priest? And this isn't about giving Puerto Rico its big pop moment. They'll have that big pop moment when Bad Bunny comes out. They'll have that big pop moment when the pay-per-view opens and when the pay-per-view closes. As simple as that. So with that said, I'll have to give it to Damian Priest. It's a street fight. That helps out Bad Bunny in the fact that he has more tools to use against the Punisher that is Damian Priest. But overall, Judgment Day needs to remain strong, and for that to happen, Priest has to beat Bad Bunny. And by the way, I love the story leading up to this match, because 2 years ago they were tag teaming at WrestleMania. So there's history there. There was history in the beatdown on the Raw after Mania, when Priest was so guilty and was so conflicted about beating his friend, his pana, in Bad Bunny. So with that said, I'll have to give it to Damian Priest. And the match that should main event Backlash is Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, against the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And I don't believe we got an explanation from Brock Lesnar as to why he attacked Cody Rhodes. So I'm just going to throw it out there. I feel like this is just a matter of Brock Lesnar is just being Brock. He's just doing whatever the hell he wants, much like he's always done since he returned to WWE in 2012. And as simple as that. Will this feud continue? Will this match continue? I feel like it should. It should continue. It should continue into Night of Champions, because it's in Saudi Arabia. Brock Lesnar needs a big payday. Brock Lesnar needs to be a part of that big pay-per-view in Saudi Arabia. And the way this feud, this rivalry has been building, it doesn't just end with a simple singles match. It doesn't just end with one of these men going over the other. It's not that simple with either of these men. And you also need possibly a reason to get Cody Rhodes away from the WWE World Heavyweight Championship for now, so you keep him entertained, occupied with the Beast Incarnate. But for now, at Backlash, the American Nightmare has to get the win against Brock Lesnar. Simply because if Lesnar wins at Backlash, there is nowhere for this story to go. Because that would mean Cody Rhodes has to come out yet again one night or 2 nights after the pay-per-view on Raw and ask for a rematch. And ask the same guy who beat him at the pay-per-view for a rematch once again. And that's not a good look for one of the most over stars in WWE today, in Cody Rhodes. So with that said, Cody Rhodes gets the win over Brock Lesnar at Backlash. That causes Lesnar to go apeshit on Raw and get his stipulation, Extreme Rules, no DQ, steel cage match, whatever you want to throw in for Night of Champions between these two men. And obviously we have our World Heavyweight Championship match at Night of Champions as well. Triple H just announced in the press conference that we will have 2 triple threat matches on Raw. The winners of those matches will face off in the main event of Raw. That man will go to Night of Champions. And then the SmackDown after Backlash will have 2 triple threat matches as well. Those 2 winners will face off in the main event of SmackDown that same night. That winner will face off against the Raw winner at Night of Champions to crown a new World Heavyweight Champion, which doesn't really make sense, especially after the draft, when you said it would be a Raw exclusive World Championship, and now you have SmackDown stars involved in the tournament. The only explanation for this is they want to give it the most importance. I don't know how I came up with that. Ever. Both Raw and SmackDown stars want to fight over this championship, and whoever wins gets immediately drafted to Raw. So, where does that leave the draft at? But other than that, I expect a pretty good show for Backlash, especially since these are mostly not WrestleMania rematches. So, thrilled about that. So with that said, what are your thoughts? What are your predictions? What do you expect from Backlash this upcoming Saturday night in Puerto Rico? Leave them in the comments section below. In the meantime, tune in later on tonight to SmackDown from Puerto Rico, of course. Great atmosphere they'll have for the show. I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.